Hello, hello. Emily from Just Ask. I'm here with Robert Blue. Let's see, of Blue Image Photos,
Yes.
amongst many other things, right? So, what's a little bit about who Robert is?
So, born and raised here in Buffalo, New York. Both my parents were born and raised in Buffalo, New York. So,
Okay.
Buffalo native through and through. Started out at School 53 public school,
Okay.
then Campus East, and it turned to Dr. Lydia T. Wright School of Excellence.
Okay.
Graduated from Hutch Tech in '05.
Oh, both my sisters went there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tech High.
Nice.
And then went over to RIT in Rochester.
Nice.
Spent about 8 years in Rochester, and
Wow.
then came back over to Buffalo about 10 years ago.
Okay. What'd you do at RIT?
So at RIT, I studied IT,
Okay.
and IT with a concentration in web database.
No, but and the concentration of, like you said, web and database.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference in addition to IT?
So it's basically application development. So you know how you have apps on your phone.
Yeah.
You fill out forms on your phone. When you press submit, that data goes somewhere. So
Right.
So I learned how to
Develop that pretty much.
develop that, store that data, use that data for analytics,
Okay.
and then display that data on websites or whatever application you're using to make it useful for yourself, your
For the purposes.
for the person in charge.
Yeah.
So you can see that data, have it all in one place.
Okay.
People make decisions off that data. I worked at Paychex, where they used it for payroll and provider information. I work at right now. I work at Rich Products.
Okay.
So they use that data for quality, efficiency, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
having
See, like,
that background is useful.
oh my God, these days you're walking right into the proper era of it.
Yeah.
I love the creation of things, and I have a pretty good patience and attention to detail and understanding. But I always say, my knowledge of technology is need to know. So that depth, I'm how much do I pay you just to do it?
Yeah. So anybody with an IT background, you're instantly the tech whiz of your family.
Right.
So
Hey,
you're
how do you do
responsible.
this?
Yeah. So you're responsible for
Yeah.
your aunt's questions about
Right.
her computer. They want you to come over and fix the computer, and you're like, no, I got real stuff to do.
Right. It's all you have to do is just restart it. It should be fine.
Yeah, that's usually it. Just restart, refresh, plug it in. So sometimes the answer is it plugged in?
Right.
Oh, it's
I
not?
was used to
Okay,
let
let's start
IT
there.
because you would be surprised, hey, something could have happened and it slightly got unplugged, so you have to ask those questions.
It's pertinent. Some people don't know. I had one experience. I worked for a job on campus, my campus job.
Okay.
And I had to go from room to room when people had issues with their projector. The teachers want to display what's on their computer screen to the projector and stuff.
Right.
And I walked into the room, and the teacher says, hey, I plugged everything in. It's not working. And I go and look. He's pointing at the Ethernet cable. I'm like, no, you have to plug in this display cable in order for it to display.
That I think I could have figured out.
And that's what I get paid the big bucks for, just making sure people are plugging things in right.
It's just everything starts somewhere.
Yeah, it's very, very simple.
Right.
That's just a testament to learning, having knowledge. So a lot of people, they either are too busy to learn the specific knowledge that you have, so they bring you in to be the consultant. And if you always, seek knowledge, seek to specify and gain your skills and learn as technology grows, as it keeps coming out. Right now you have AI, which is the big thing. So if you keep on learning that specific thing, the other people who are too busy or don't have time or don't learn it for some reason, you can be that expert that they bring
prepared.
in. And you can charge a nominal fee for that.
Right.
It's
well,
a living.
and at the end of the day, it's like you said, you are the one taking the time to learn the ins and outs of it. So it's at some point it's going to benefit somebody, and time is not free.
Yeah. I had a cousin told me, how do you know so much about websites?
Yeah.
Because I spent time banging my head against the wall so you don't have to.
Right. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And I feel like you have a very good demeanor, like for people who you're helping out where something is like super basic, but it's not basic for them. Because there are some people can come off where it's like, you don't know that,
Right.
So you have a good demeanor of, you're not, hey, want to make sure that it's plugged in.
Right.
Like I'm going to feel better for maybe not thinking of something like that,
Yeah, there's a stereotype that IT guys are know-it-alls and try to make people feel dumb and stuff like that. But there is a space for the people who can navigate in between. You can be a tech lead or IT guy, but you can also be a people person.
Right. You don't have to come off as like, oh my God, you don't know this.
Yeah, and people appreciate that.
Right. It is the small things.
Being able to not make them feel dumb or not make them feel like, inadequate.
Right.
Being personable and talking to them like a regular person.
Exactly.
There's value in that.
I mean, and I think like it sounds so simple, and you're like, oh, but like you said, people don't realize that's such an important ingredient in business, because if you're going to be in a business where you do have clients, your clients are your business, so you have no choice but to be good with people.
Right,
what I mean? So I think at times that has gotten forgotten about, and it's just like, no, that can't make all the difference between a transaction.
Yeah, and you make people feel at ease. They come to you and open up to you more. It also creates those relationships and networking, because if you're a person that they can trust, you're not going to, make them feel bad for not knowing things. And then you educate them as well.
Yeah.
And so they feel like a conversation with you helps them gain knowledge.
And then through conversation, maybe they can educate you on something that you don't know, but they might know. Right.
You never know where you can learn something from, or who you can learn from.
And it's already like the world we live in, and certain things, it's already difficult enough, to either admit you don't know something or reach out and ask for help. So it's like I said, as humanity, that's what we should be doing, in the sense of creating a safe, comfortable space for people to be like, hey, if you don't know it, like, that's fine. Nobody knows everything. And if you don't know that one thing, it's okay to show that you don't know it, and that's how people help each other, and that's where that networking comes in, A lot
of mistakes and tension is built up in people not communicating. Like,
simple.
I never knew you had a problem, and then you expect me to know everything. It's not going to work. So
then when the frustration comes, they be confused. Sorry, relating that to a little bit as a personal thing. But that's what I'm saying. Like these basic things can relate to so many areas in life, and it's just like, it can't be that simple.
Right.
Like, I think a lot is overcomplicated, where it's just like, say what you mean, mean what you say, and make it clear so everybody's on the same page and everything is just smoother and better. That's it.
Yeah. And if you can communicate in a way that's emotionally intelligent, so you know who you can be harsh to and who you have to be, soft with.
Right.
And people appreciate that. You gain more connections when you can communicate to people at their level.
Right.
And it's something that I'm, always learning, because times are changing.
Everybody's so many different personalities.
You're dealing with different generations.
Right,
you got, Gen Xers and baby boomers who like it direct. But then Gen Zers and millennials.
Sensitive these days. For me, I always say, listen, I'm the softest thug, but if you got something truthful to tell me, I said, forget about my feelings. Tell me what I need to hear. I'll be salty for a little bit, but then I'll be okay. But at least you didn't withhold the truth, or information that's going to help me. Right. So I think that mindset has switched a little bit over time, and
Yeah, you also have different cultures.
Right.
Some cultures, they value the relationship wise, and other cultures, probably American culture, they value directness. So it's all
about a balance.
Yeah, it's a balance. It's always a learning experience. Things are changing fast, and being able to adapt is
adapting. Yeah, read the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like you said, though, and it leads into like, depending on who you're talking to, body language will tell you a lot, how they're spoken. I feel like those things can, once again, because everything literally is data, you kind of piece it together on what type of conversation you can have with that person and how you can have it with them. So I think when you focus on those things, you're able to be well-rounded and adapt to almost any room that you walk into. you know, so and things like that like fascinate me because I've always, you know, I love business. I did some courses for business, and one of the main ones was like body language, and there was so much that I had learned before that, but when you like, once again, conversation or hear different knowledge, you kind of relate it to what you already know and enhance it, where you're just like, oh wow, you know, you put it together and it just becomes even more powerful. You know, so things like that. But so you said by day you do Riches products. What brought you to the path as owner of currently Blue Image Photos?
So this it's a long road. So
and that's okay. That's okay.
So I started it in August 22. During
2022?
Yep.
Okay, so you're coming on what, 3 years?
3 years,
okay.
Yeah, coming up 3
Something
years.
to celebrate.
Yeah.
That's not that long of a road.
Right. But the road to actually starting the business, like it was all a mindset thing at that point. So COVID had just passed. You had a lot of people coming up with businesses and things like that. I had just graduated from UB with the MBA.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out, you know, how can I contribute to this to Buffalo, because a lot of things are opening back up after COVID.
Right.
People are having more events. I always had a background in photography. When I was younger, I used to go on. My father was a photographer.
Nice.
And he would do weddings, events, photo shoots. Yeah. And I was his second guy.
Okay.
A lot of the times. I was either...
You were exposed to it.
Yeah. So he handed me a camera and said, hey, just make sure everybody's in frame and click the photo.
Yeah.
And back then you actually had film. So you only had like 23
y'all know
shots.
about that?
You had only 23 shots.
Oh my God.
And you had to make them count.
Yep.
And
no deleting, no editing.
Right. You can't delete, you can't edit, you can't check to see if you got everything in the last shot you took. Yeah. And if you open it up before the film is done, you ruined everything.
Right.
So
man, listen, those were the times.
So he put me in the church balconies while he was down on the floor.
Okay.
And so I got some exposure from that, how he interacted with couples and brides and grooms and stuff like that. And then at the receptions, he would put a backdrop up and tell me to take pictures as people would come.
Yes,
and so I was sort of like the photo booth person.
Yeah, already, just in a different version.
Just in a different version. People would come into the backdrop, I'll take their pictures. Yeah. But the thing is, people couldn't get their pictures digitally because that didn't exist yet. Right. And they couldn't get it until it was printed out. Yeah. And a lot of the times...
That's when you had to have patience for these things.
Oh, yeah. It would be either weeks and sometimes months when couples get their photos back because of that process. You got other weddings and you know, the queue built up. So,
yeah, that's crazy. I know, it's crazy how instant everything is these days.
Yeah, so I would go with him when he's talking to the couples, going over photo packages, showing them their photos, seeing their reactions, and so
that goes into what inspired you to pursue this passion. Is it safe to say all of that?
Yeah, so all of that, and then the technology part. Okay. So a couple years after that, we were doing like a photo shoot session. Okay. Of people, and then we were trying to jerry rig taking the picture and having it print out from a little printer. Yeah. And connecting to a computer. Yeah. We were trying to make something work. This is before those automatic machines.
I mean, and you got to start somewhere. So it's just like even trying, or like whoever you're working with, like, hey, bear with us. This is a first time. Right. You know, we're trying to figure this out. And that's what I try to tell people. Like, there's such a beauty in, you know, first of all, that's almost like a lifelong journey. So now I understand the length of your road. Yeah. But I think what's so amazing about it is I get college. I do. I genuinely do. And I understand certain industries require that type of education, if you will. But I feel like for you have the best benefit because you got real life experience. And I think a lot of the time that is something that can create that difference between like you and other businesses where you have really been doing this your whole life. And then your benefit was understanding how your dad did it, but then you getting fascinated to now involve the technology part, right? Which is now like the best of both worlds, you know? So, and then like you said, even working with your dad and figuring out how you could make it work, that's literally how any business is built. And I think it's funny because I think we see like corporations or like these real big name businesses who've been in business for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And it's just like, they probably started with a pen and paper somewhere as well.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship is pretty much the story of America.
And it becomes, but it's such a build.
Yeah, you gain the experience. Some people say that the only difference between somebody who's been working 4 years and somebody who's graduated out of college is the experience. And so a lot of those times, people who just went straight to the workforce,
right.
I mean, nothing's given to you. You still got to work hard.
Absolutely.
You still got to put in the time, put in the connections, put in the hours.
Oh, yeah.
You still got to do that. But if you do it right, after 4 years, you can be that college graduate's boss.
I mean, and that literally, that was my route. I like hate school. My learning style is different. I've always went to public schools, but I feel like if I would have known that like my learning style was different, I probably could have been more than like an average student. But I always knew I know I'm not dumb. I just learned different, and that was hands-on, or like if you show me something, that's how I comprehended it. Reading like a 300-page book, like yeah, I'll read it and maybe retain about like 10% of it.
Yeah.
But I'm also fluent in Spanish and bilingual. So when I was applying to these, jobs, this and that, and I seen certain jobs requiring a bachelor's degree, I said, oh my God, I'm getting that pay just off my experience of being bilingual. And not even fully the bilingual, because back in the day, they didn't even, it was kind of offensive what they thought being bilingual, above the regular pay was. So I'm like, I could literally walk into an interview, my demeanor, my being well-spoken, body language, whatever the case is, and I would get the job before a person who just graduated with a 4-year degree, because bringing me in, they're like, well, we only have to train you about half, and then I would just go to actually performing the job. So I feel like over time it has switched a lot, where you see on applications now preferred or not required, but that those type of things, because a piece of paper doesn't really prepare you for that day-to-day interaction.
Right. Yeah. Growing up, you've always been told that you need a bachelor's in order to get a good job.
Yeah.
Nowadays, unfortunately, a bachelor's is, for a lot of people, is the minimum. Sometimes you need a master's in order to get a job.
Yep.
So like the standards keep changing, but at the same time, we still need the electricians and plumbers, and we still need the people who help hold the infrastructure of America up. So it's up to you as a person to put in the work and put in the time, put in the research into what you want to do. And yeah, me too. I learn by doing too.
Yeah.
So I can sit and listen to you, but I need to also watch you. And not only watch you, but I need to like copy what you're doing too. So sometimes that's the best experiences. And I have plenty of stories of, learning on the job for photobooth events.
Okay.
Like there are times when I first started. So when I first started, I did a few free events because
I got to start somewhere.
I got to start somewhere. I needed the content, the experience. I needed to, see that I can make this thing work.
And here's a perfect example. I always forget. How did we? I think you just social media. You just requested me.
Yeah.
Okay. So perfect example.
Yeah.
But you had faith in your product so much that you were nice enough to give me a complimentary, service at an event that I was planning, and it was great, by the way, with good faith of, you got to start somewhere, you got to build somewhere. And fast forward, he is now getting a paid job, if you will, for the wedding that I'm planning.
Yeah.
And that's the power of networking. That's the power of, everything shouldn't be money driven, where it's just like, if you have a good product, you feel like, well, if I could sacrifice one time of not getting like the full cost on what I'm offering, but it leads to something, that's good business. You know what I mean? Like, and I wish more people have that mindset. Well, oh my God, it's free with it.
Yeah,
you got to start somewhere.
A lot of people don't realize when we say free events, they say, "Oh, you're not doing it for money." No, we're doing it for the connection,
right?
The
Which
networking, building a relationship. Yeah. Because a lot of the times I look on social media, I try to see what people are doing, and I look for planners, wedding planners, event planners, and if I see what they're doing is good, and it's somebody that I can work with.
Yeah.
I would offer them a free event to create that connection. Because a lot of the times when you're looking for people to do events with, you might get brides or people just, inquiring how much does it cost? And then you have to kind of coax them up and inform them of what you do, talk about the packages, and then they'll ghost you.
Right. Well, exactly. And that's why I made it such a point, because I was like, wow, I said, that's really nice that, you even offered to give me something complimentary, and I had to reschedule on you a couple of times, and you were so patient. And I was just like, for me, I said, if you communicate well, if I work with you well, if you seem like a good business person, I will use you every time. And if I'm using you for something else, I'm going to get you paid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just having those understandings.
Right. So when you make those good connections, like with you and other planners that I work with, if you reach out to me, I know it's already a done deal. I don't have to explain much of anything. Yeah. I know that, you want this date? This date is booked, done.
Yeah.
Other people, you gotta hope that they respond.
Yeah,
So building those connections are more than valuable.
And it's also an understanding of, I had a person inquire about, requiring day of coordination services for an event they're doing. A few days have passed. I said, well, let me inquire to show, I do have interest in helping. And, they responded and said, yes, I still do. Because people are busy. And so it's also that balance of understanding as a professional, yes, they need your help. But sometimes with them doing everything else, they might get busy.
Yeah, that's true.
But also, you shouldn't be reaching out 2-3 times. Hey, did you still, if they initially reached out to you. But
and then the other thing is that offering you a free event for your client, you look like you got the best connections. So it makes you look good. It makes me look good. And I think it's beneficial. So just get over the fact that you're not getting dollars.
Yes, yeah.
But look into the investment into
the investment. That's the key word, is the investment. And like I said, between my podcast kind of just being, a platform to show what authenticity is in the world of social media and facades that we live in, but also taking the time to make people look good, or if hey, you feel like you got a business that's worth, advertising, or whether it's a topic that you want to educate people on, or something you just want to bring awareness to, that's what it should be. And I think people a lot of the time, my platform is not the biggest, but I've only started in March, but hey, I'm doing damn good for only a few months with the consistency.
So you're consistent with your episodes and your content, and then when you get the eye of somebody who is looking for somebody with your skills, you have the proof. So they can scroll through your YouTube page, they can scroll through your Instagram page and see all the proof that you do.
The presentation of it.
Yeah, you deliver on what you say you're going to do.
And I feel a lot of the time people are 50,000 followers, all these followers. And it's yeah, that's cool, but it's just you don't realistically, you haven't met every single one of those people. So I always say I don't have thousands and thousands of followers. But the ones I do have, it's I've had a conversation with you, I've had a drink with you, I've had, a meal with you, or I'm networking, communicating, or I know I can't help you, but I know so-and-so person who can, and I think there's more quality, in that, because you said, you work with me. You have a whole wedding room. You have some cards. Now somebody else is having an event. They need a photo booth. So that right there is that one connection can lead to just being in a room of 100 people and 20 possibilities out of those 100.
The aspect of the photo booth, people are coming and experiencing the photo booth, and they have their own events. They have their own connections. They have their own influence as well.
Right.
So not only are they using your photo booth, they're taking the picture that might have your logo on it, and they're posting that.
Yep.
And so people are asking, where did you take this great photo?
Word of mouth.
And it's always interesting to see when I see people's profile photos, and I'm like, that was from my photo booth.
I know. I think I posted something. It was from the fashion show, and that was super cool. The little cute mobile one, and I said, oh, okay. So I'm not gonna crop out the logo and because that's the whole point. So for me, that's people will see I'm always advertising little things for other people, but I find such enjoyment in it because it's it really takes like 2 minutes. And it's something as simple as, hey, it's a picture of me, but it got your little logo. So now not only am I posting myself, because maybe I like my outfit that day, but it's also advertising you just simply by that little watermark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like things like that, like that's what I love doing for people. I like having people on my podcast. 90% of people I've had on my podcast, it's exciting because I've had some kind of personal like connection with you, or like I've worked with you. My God, we went to the extent, this is a husband right here. You even connected me to your wife from Mary Kay, and I did like a little sessions, did a little facial thing. But that's what I'm saying, like those connections and just taking the time. It's just taking that time, you know, and it's just, you know, I'm brainstorming because she reached out for like, you know, one of the little parties at home. My mind is always going. I said, I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll do a pool party. Come on, Mary Kay.
Hey, that's how it happens. Yeah.
Now, so with all that being said, how do you tie all of that into your daily life as a family man?
So it's all about support.
Okay.
And leaning on your family a lot of the times. So like you said, my wife is in Mary Kay. So she throws parties, she has appointments, she does deliveries. She's very busy. So those are times where I have to stay home with the kids and to get time with them and you know, build that relationship with them, make sure they have everything that they need.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends when I go to my events, she'll spend time with the kids, go on trips, take them to the park, swimming and stuff like that, you know, having a fun time.
Yeah.
And then those rare times where we actually get a chance to spend time together are really valuable. There was one event that I had that was near Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I did a drop-off booth. So I was able to drop off a photo booth at a wedding. Okay. And then we were able to go to Splash Lagoon together.
I know they went to Splash Lagoon.
So not only did we get to spend family time together that night, I also got paid from a photo booth event.
And listen.
And so that worked out.
That's entrepreneurship. You have mastered entrepreneurship when you can be making money while either sleeping or still having fun or not actually being present. Yeah. You know, and like you said, and I think a lot of the time people do have to understand it's a very difficult and long road. And even when you're doing good, something might come and drop you back down. So you have, like you said, it's a mindset. But when you have an understanding and develop that mindset that, hey, this is what it is now, but it's not always going to be that way. You know, those are the things that make you that much grateful for, like, dang, this is dope. Like, I could just drop off a booth. You know, that's however much money, you know, I'm charging for that. And I get to go with my family and still keep that as priority. Right. You know what I mean? So, and like, that's so important, especially, you know, in a marriage, to kind of find that balance of, she has the understanding that weekends are prime time for you. And then what she can do is, you know, a little more flexible. And with kids, kudos to you. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And like I said, where there's a will, there's a way. You know, if you can find somebody to work it out with or have that balance, I feel like that is genuinely a key to so much happiness in life.
And grandparents.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, you know, but I mean, you're still present, but yeah, if you got the grandparents, that's extra support.
Yeah, grandparents, they come through in the clutch. From my grandmother, my mother-in-law being able to watch them, my parents being able to watch them, and I lean on my father. He does events for me sometimes. Oh, okay, Pops is still working. We're still working together.
I love that.
He's been a huge supporter. My family's been a huge supporter.
Very nice.
I'm even wearing a shirt that my mother made.
Oh, okay.
With the logo, she does. She makes shirts and personalized products and stuff like that.
That's a one-stop shop. You know, I love it.
So we all have the entrepreneurial spirit, and that's great. My daughter, she talks about businesses she wants to create. Like, she wants to have a not only a lemonade stand, overall juice stand. Okay. So she has that idea.
Very nice.
And then my son, he's about to turn 2 in September. Aww. And so he's learning and he's watching everything. And
that's what's important. You know, you starting from your dad and maybe even beyond, but like, you know, building that foundation, that base, you know, giving your kids something to watch, and then, you know, leaving the choice up to them if they want to follow in that, or, you know, do something different, or be creative and turn it into something different or new, you know, where it's just like, you kind of did that by adapting to the era that we live in, which is more technology based versus, you know, when it was your dad, you did things more manually. But at the end of the day, even though it took longer, you were still delivering the same product, you know, whether it was in a different form. So I think that's the beauty of evolving, you know, adapting, learning from other people, where it's just like, you don't necessarily have to do things exactly like other people, but once again, like you said, collecting that data, doing that research, and figuring out how can I use this, you know, to make it my style. Yeah.
So the thing about the photo booth industry, it's very, very a low bar to get into. And anybody can stand up a tripod, with an iPad and a ring light. You can download some photo booth software for free, and you can, boom, you have a photo booth company. But the difference is being able to go out and make connections, being consistent, not only with your setup, with your events, with your training, because sometimes I have other people do events for me. And so, you know, I train them, show them how to work everything, make sure they're confident and going out and doing events without me. And not everybody, not everybody has that wherewithal and that grind and that spirit to see that all through. And so sometimes I, you know, scrolling social media, you see photo booth businesses appear and disappear and appear and disappear. But being able to be consistent, even with your content on social media, putting together videos, pictures, and being consistent with that, with all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
I'm not even on half of them. I'm like, I don't even know where this one came from.
YouTube, LinkedIn, like all these platforms where that give you exposure. And it also comes down to help.
Yes.
My family has been very helpful. So people that have doing events for me, my cousins.
I mean, hey, and like I said, like the beauty in that is, like you said, taking the time to, you know, train others or show others that if I'm not present, especially when you're the owner of a business, you know, you definitely always want that same experience as if when you're present as to when you're not. You know, so there's also an importance, and like you said, I admire you for taking that time to invest in whoever you are having work your events, to make sure, hey, this is what I would offer. You know, you can make it your own, but it always relating to your original style, because that's what people expect when they hear Blue Image photos. You know, or like I've been out, you know, to events where there's like so many people, and I'm like, oh, hey, you know, you take the time to like have a little conversation with me. It's not like, hey, bye, okay, you know, you're too busy. And I think that's like really big these days, because everything's so rush and instant. And it's like, you know, 2 minutes. Hey, how's everything going? You know, this and that. That is part of business. That's, you know what I mean? That's part of ownership.
Building that relation, and that helps separate you from other photo booth businesses, because if you build those relationships, you know, now you're talking about me to somebody else, and then they're talking about me to somebody else.
And it's not only going to be like, oh, like the photo booth was great. It's going to be like, hey, yeah, the guy that was carrying the mobile photo booth, you know, around, he was a real nice guy. He was the owner, but he was like, you know, explaining everything, you know, those types of things. And that's what I love about business, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm a workaholic. But I said, you know, with me choosing the risky route of an entrepreneur that, you know, I feel like I've mastered more than I've ever, you know, thought I would have seen myself, in comparison to like when I was just working jobs. Like I always knew I liked to work, but I said, how can I master actually enjoying the work that I'm doing without just clock in, work out, clock out, you know, and it's just no thrill. There's no accomplishment. There's nothing new or exciting. So, you know, for me, I always say I like people, but I don't, in the sense of retail.
Well, I'm an introvert, so
well, I am too. You wouldn't think so, but
I got a timer for
you peopling. I call it peopling.
I got a timer for my extroversion. My timer is when the event starts, and then when it ends. Now I got to pack up, and I got.
Well, but that's you knowing yourself. It's what you enjoy doing. That's where you can come out of your shell. And then when it's done, okay, bye.
And I always try to make sure that me and whoever's working the photo booth are being personable with people.
Yeah.
Again, showing them how to use the photo booth and not making them feel bad
Just
about
put your phone number, it'll send to you.
yeah, exactly. When they're using the photo booth, sometimes you have elderly people who don't know how to do anything. So you have to show them, like, this is where you put your number in, and then you press that button and you're done.
Yeah.
You look here at the lens, you smile. And so what I try to do is try to make people smile genuinely. Sometimes you get fake smiles, so I try to give them a compliment on their outfit or earrings or whatever knick-knack they're wearing. Just try to make them feel good about using the photo booth. It's all about that experience, and that's what I want to bring to events.
Well, and then, like I said, a lot of those things that you mentioned, they're small, but put together, people who experience, your photo booth or worked with you, that's what leaves the impression. So I got plenty, I don't even know, I probably got a few photo booth people I follow on Instagram. But when my mind goes to it, you're probably the one at the top of the list because you took the time to reach out. You offered me a complimentary service. You're reliable. You respond back, and you're easy to work with. So, like, yes, impression can, put you to the top even if I know 5 photo booth companies. And that's what I'm saying, like, working with you, if I'm happy working with you, I'll use you every time, unless you're not available or it's a specific reason that I can't. And that's how you build up those, like you said, quality connections, networking, and just, you're not a gatekeeper. You help others. You encourage others. That's big too.
I even try to help other photo booth companies in Buffalo, like with if they ever need like a piece to their equipment. There's a couple of them that have the same type of photo booth that I have. So I've talked to them about borrowing equipment before, borrowing printer equipment. Any type of advice I can give them, if I can show them something new, if they can show me something new. But then what happens is when they're busy with something, they'll call me. And if I'm busy with something, I'll call them.
Yeah, there you go.
And so we're all about creating that community.
Collaboration.
Creating community, collaboration, and no competition. Because a lot of people, they see a photo booth and they don't really see the business name.
Yes.
Like, they also see the price. So if we all elevate each other, the price makes sense to people.
Because they'll understand the quality.
Because they'll understand the quality. If everybody has great or equal quality in their output, then we can all justify the value and the price.
Exactly.
And what happens is people will try to lowball, and
I'm like, well, if I'm lowering the price, I guess I'm lowering my quality of work as well.
In my experience, it's like if you give it out for free, you're getting a value that's non-tangible. Yeah. But when you're discounting all the way down to the ground, those customers tend to be the ones who don't value the photo booth as much. And I've learned the hard way, because when you're growing, when you're starting, you're trying to get anything anywhere. There's
a fine line of don't be desperate. Don't just jump at any opportunity, because if you genuinely believe you have either a good service or a good product, once again, just circling to the beginning, the journey is going to be long. It's going to take a while. It's going to take that consistency and patience to really see it grow and evolve into what it could be one day. And I think there is a fine line between that, just having that patience and letting it, kind of naturally grow. And it's okay to be picky with who you work with, what opportunity you take, because everything or everybody might not be, good for you or what you need to really succeed. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to fear that.
Yeah, when you prioritize your brand, there's certain events that you want your brand to be associated with, if you're getting paid or not.
Yeah, and you can't just show up anywhere.
Right, you can't just show up anywhere. I can't be, at an underground,
going home to the kids.
Right, because what happens is people associate your brand with the type of events that you're at. So your reputation. So you do choose your clients wisely, as well as they choose you.
Yeah, all right. Well, you heard it here on Just Ask M. This is Robert Blue of Blue Image Photos, among other things. So any of your photo booth needs, 360 booth, and more, reach out to him. If you don't know how to connect, feel free to reach out to me and I will connect you to him. So tune in and subscribe.